Viewers' discretion is advised.
Super Mario 64 has been with me most of my life. I still play this game almost every year, but Super Mario 64 can also be kind of disturbing if you think about it. I'll be explaining my personal experiences of Mario 64 rather than to talk about creepypastas such as personalized copies, L is real, Wario apparition, etc. Today's countdown will be the top 7 reasons Super Mario 64 is eerie. Since it is Halloween season, this will mark the 5th Creepy Crawler Corner. Let's begin, and I hope you enjoy the video and don't get too spooked. Oh yeah, this is my 50th Shnob Countdown episode and my 5th anniversary of the Countdown series. Super Mario 64 has its usual Mario enemies. Koopas, Goombas, etc. But there are a few that are the stuff of nightmares. First off, in Bob-omb Battlefield, we have Chain Chomp, who looks so murderous in this game that my heart pounds all the time he is on screen. The way he pauses for barely a second before he lunges at you and takes away a large amount of damage, if he manages to be successful, is pretty terrifying. Those darn teeth. There is the Womps from Whomp's Fortress, which I'll get into later. But from Jolly Roger Bay, we have the infamous Mara, a giant eel so terrifying that it gives Chain Chomp a run for its money. The way it wiggles its head if you get too close to it is just... yeah. Then you have to follow his tail in order to get the Power Star. Cool Mountain didn't have any scary enemies in this one. The Boo's and Boo's Big Haunt wasn't really scary, but their monologue was. They claim they can't die, but this is the first Mario game where you can slay and Boo without any Oh wait, I almost forgot. Yes, Mad Piano. That darn cursed piano. One of the few enemies in Mario 64 you can't defeat. I wonder how Miyamoto and the crew thought this was okay. This is a jump scare that actually works because you don't expect it. Hazy Maze Cave and Lethal Lava Land didn't really have anything worth mentioning. But Shifting Sandland had these geometric shaped smiling mummy things that will crush you by stomping or roll pinning you. I think it is most likely the smile that bothers me about Grindles and Spindle. Just the design of the Pokies in this alone are frightening enough. But those toy boxes, those jerks have faces on them. I ask myself, why? Further going on, courses 9 to 12 had pretty tame enemies. But once again, you get that creepy factor back in Tiny Huge Land. Well, at least for me. Those guys are known as Cheap Chomps. These are basically larger versions of Cheap Cheeps. I know its design isn't all that scary, but something about it gave me a lot of fear. It is just sitting there waiting for you to swim towards it. It is easy to get away from, but it still makes me really uncomfortable. The last 2 courses didn't have enemies that terrified me. People wondering why bosses aren't placed here is because I felt they deserved their own category. Moving on. With the exception of Wiggler, King Bob-omb, Whomp King, and Irock, all 3 of them had monologue that makes me feel uneasy and sad at the same time. I thought I would never feel remorseful for killing off these bosses. First off is King Bob-omb. He was probably the easiest boss in the entire game and the most iconic of them. Heck, someone even made a song about him. But listen to this monologue.
I'm the Big Bob-omb, Lord of the Blasting Matter, King of Kabooms, the world over. How dare you scale my mountain? By what right do you set foot on my imperial mountaintop? You may have eluded my guards, but you'll never escape my grasp, and you'll never take away my power star. I hereby challenge you, Mario. If you want the star I hold, you must prove yourself in battle. Can you pick me up from the back and hurl me to this royal turf? I think you cannot.
He seems rather nice about trying to defeat you, but it is the dialogue after you defeat him that makes me feel uneasy.
What? Can it be that a pipsqueak like you has defused the Bomb King? You might be fast enough to ground me, but you have to pick up the pace if you want to take King Bowser by the tail. Methinks my troops could learn a lesson from you. Here is your star, as I promised, Mario. If you want to see me again, select this star from the menu. For now, farewell.
That farewell after you defeat him is sad and eerie at the same time. He may have been a villain, but he was a dignified one. So that is where the third Bob-Omb thingy comes from. This seems the least disturbing, but also the saddest boss monologue defeat. Next off we have Womp King. Think about his design. A giant cement slab with a devilish smile, crooked teeth, demon blood red eyes, and with a giant band-aid on his cracked back. His design alone is the stuff of nightmares. To top it off, just listen to his lovely monologue.
It makes me so mad. We build your houses, your castles, we pave your roads, and you still walk all over us. Do you ever say thank you? No. Well, you're not going to wipe your feet on me. I think I'll just crush you for fun. Do you have a problem with that? Just try to pound me, wimp. Ha!
So he is a homicidal maniac that wants to murder you. Let's wait around and listen what he has to say after he's been bested.
No! Crushed again! I'm just a stepping stone after all. I won't grovel. Here, you win. Take this with you.
What makes matters worse is the fact that his beef with the Mushroom Kingdom was never resolved. He wholeheartedly accepted his inevitable demise and rewards you for it. My headcanon is that the building on top of Womp's fortress is Womp King turned into a castle. Yikes. Last but not least is Irock. He is the boss you battle inside the pyramid of shifting sandland. He gets agitated when you awake him from his slumber.
Who walk here? Who break seal? Wake, ancient ones. We no like light. Rumble. We no like intruders. Now battle. Hand to hand.
This boss, just like the Womp King, wants to destroy you by crushing you. You have to whack both of his eyes in order to defeat him. Pretty brutal fighting style for Mario. His final words are also disturbing and sad at the same time.
Grumble! What happened? We crushed like pebble. You're so strong. You rule ancient pyramid for today. Now take star of power. We sleep. Darkness.
Sure, he was an evil, magical, powerful pyramid monster. But think about it. Iwok was probably sleeping in the pyramid for more than thousands of years, and wakes up to be killed. Super Mario 64 have very iconic and intimidating bosses, yet I feel almost regret after defeating them, despite them all being evil. They accept defeat without hesitation. At least Wiggler has a happy ending, even though you have to pound him until he shrinks. Don't forget to mention you flood his house. Carry on. In this game, Mario doesn't hold back in making animals hurt by grabbing, pounding, or provoking them. I did some research, and yes, the animals you pick up in this game, he is literally choking them. Not holding them by the waist, choking them. Then again, Mario spends the entire franchise stepping on and bashing animals to defeat evil. First off, when you pick up Tuxie the penguin, she starts to cry right after you pick her up. As a kid, I thought she was crying because she was homesick. But the more I think about it, Mario is strangling Tuxie. Once you return Tuxie to her mother, Miss Penguin thanks you and gives you a star. But then Miss Penguin will chase you right after you pick her up again. Then once you drop Tuxie off the ledge, she just stands there staring blankly, like nothing ever happened. What is messed up about this, that I think most people who had played Mario 64, including me, probably did this. We all can't forget Mips the Rabbit. I know that he has 2 stars on him, but you can obviously see that he's extremely uncomfortable for Mario strangling him. Mips even calls Mario a brute. He is yelping ouch. You even see a sad look on his face. The things Mario will do to get a star. Then after you get the 2 stars from him, he just sits there and doesn't do anything. That's really sad. One of the missions in Hazy Maze Cave is you gotta pound good old Dory in order to steer in any direction. It is sad because you can clearly see Dory yelping in pain and having watery eyes after you ground pound him. Come on, Mario. Dory doesn't deserve the treatment. Luckily, in the DS version, it is no longer required to do so. Just look at that sad face of the poor, shellless Lapras. Aww. Last but not least is Ukiki the monkey from Tall Tall Mountain. So if you go near Ukiki but a waterfall, he will take Mario's cap and will taunt you by saying it looks better on him than it does on you. Mario doesn't take it very well, and this is what Ukiki says once you grab him by the throat. So basically, Mario chased a monkey and choked him nonetheless, just for stealing his cap. Not to mention that one of the power stars in Tall Tall Mountain you have to get, you literally have to catch Ukiki in order for him to break open the cage that has a power star in it. Wow, Mario, get your morality and priorities straight. I don't know, ask him politely. I would worry about my pets around Mario. In later Mario games, it is less controversial when you catch wild animals. Mario series usually has cartoon violence and cartoony deaths. Super Mario 64 has Mario die from natural causes rather than falling off the screen comically with a cute little jingle. He collapses if you die by falling, getting hit, being ignited, choked from poisonous gases, crushed, and electrocuted. You could also see him suffocate from drowning underwater. Did I mention that he has X's on his eyes when he dies each time when you don't die from falling off the map? Nintendo really didn't hold back on this game when it came to Mario's death animations. It also doesn't help that Bowser's iris shot appears so sudden once you breathe your last breath. Also, the way Mario sings in Quicksand is pretty unnerving. It happens so fast. I wonder what went on in Miyamoto's mind during all of that. Heck, other platformer video games in that time period didn't really have death animation like that. Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, and a few others had it more comical. looks like they went back to the classic cartoony death with the jingle back in Sunshine, but then they went back to the more realistic deaths back in Galaxy. Yikes. The deaths in Mario 64 will always be nightmare fuel. Seeing Mario die was fuel for me, where Banjo-Kazooie death animations seem silly to me.
You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
Squidward!
Let's be real. Bowser felt like he lost his intimidating side for the last couple of decades, with only a few exceptions. But something about Bowser in Mario 64 makes me feel like it was one of the few last times Bowser actually felt scary. I mean, once you enter Peach's castle for the first time, you hear him laughing and saying that there's nobody home, sounding very hostile. Especially when you don't have enough power stars or a key, he will laugh the exact same way when you enter the castle the first time. Most times you die in Mario 64, you'll see the Bowser Irish shot that as a little kid really terrified me. Not gonna lie, that Bowser Irish shot kept me from actually playing Super Mario 64 for many years. When you open the first Bowser door, you see a giant picture of Peach that slowly transitions into a portrait of Bowser, and you fall into the first Bowser course. Once you finally reach the battle arena, you see an enormous Bowser just stomping towards you slowly and laughing at you. The first Bowser encounter is pretty easy, but still pretty intimidating. If you don't throw him correctly at the spiky bombs, he will slam the arena, causing you to shake. Then in the second Bowser fight, he can slam the arena so hard that it causes it to turn into a slide. He can also teleport similar to Goku's instant transmission, and it will charge towards you running really fast, which is hard to dodge at first. That really caught me off guard when I first saw this. Last but not least, the final Bowser boss is probably the most intimidating and hardest of them. This fight, you need to hit him 3 times in order to defeat him for good. He can stomp the arena once again, but it sends shockwaves towards you that cause damage if you fail to dodge them. Plus, after you hit him twice, Bowser will change the shape of the arena into a star. You're now forced to defeat him by swinging him instead of doing it the cheat way. My heart was pounding when I saw my mom and my 2 oldest brothers fight the final Bowser boss. A very iconic but intense battle. I missed it when Bowser looked and was intimidating villain. I also had a theory about all the Bowser courses. What if each one represents different levels of hell? Dark World is the lowest and most damned part of hell, being cold and isolated. Red Sea is the standard part of hell, which is often depicted in many religions as a fiery pit with people in agony. Then the sky is the entrance gate to hell, or could be limbo purgatory. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it sort of makes sense. Let's take a moment to realize how nightmare fuel inducing these darn stairs are. I remember watching my mom play this game for the first time and going to the final Bowser door and being freaked out that the door opened despite not having the right amount of power stars to battle him. Once you go up those stairs, it never ends. With that spine-chilling music and these paintings of Bowser on the side, it's not helping it being less terrifying. Shigeru Miyamoto really wanted to traumatize 80s and 90s kids. I feel like this wouldn't be out of place in The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and even Kingdom Hearts. But Super Mario Brothers? I guess even the Mario franchise can have its dark moments. Yes, it can. Probably the largest and hugest elephant in the room. The entirety of Super Mario 64, especially inside and outside the castle, is one whole big liminal space. I mean, you start Mario 64, it shows Lakitu holding a camera going around Peach's castle with very upbeat adventurous music. But once Mario jumps out of the warp pipe, the energy kind of disappears. In the outside of the castle, there is no music, mostly silent, with the exception of birds chirping and a raging waterfall in the background. Can't quite place it, but I feel alone. I feel like I'm being watched at the same time. How is that possible? Don't forget the occasional Yoshi on top of the castle, just waiting there idly. Sure, there is music throughout the castle once you enter it, but it makes me wonder, where are the butlers, the maids? The closest thing we have to any people in the castle is toads that are transparent for some odd reason, and the occasional armless yellow rabbit, who apparently is Peach's pet. I don't think she would be too happy with Mario strangling her pet. Also, why isn't there bedrooms, bathrooms, dining room, kitchen, living room, throne room, or any sort of furniture? Mostly just a bunch of empty rooms with paintings that lead into other worlds. I mean, there is a courtyard, but even that feels somehow lifeless, especially with flippin' booze everywhere. It doesn't stop there. A few of the worlds feel empty and give me an uncomfortable feeling. Most of the courses in the game have cheerful music with colorful environments, where there's a few that make me unsettled. Courses 5 to 9 make me anxious. You got one about a gloomy looking lagoon and haunted mansion with endless laughter plus an unnerving skybox, and lonely gassy cave, a lava wasteland with a hell-like skybox, a desolate hostile desert, and a submarine dock in the middle of nowhere. Know all these courses have in common? They all feel empty and dangerous, like something will sneak up around you at any corner. All are huge worlds, but feel like something is missing. Don't even get started on the Bowser skyboxes. There aren't much courses left that I can really think of that gives me an uncanny... Oh, no! That one. Wet, Dry World. The 11th stage in Super Mario 64. As a kid, the way the sun looked in the skybox really scared me. I would look away from it when I saw the sun every time my older brothers and my mom would position the camera towards the sun. Something looked off about it. If you look at the sun while you are underwater, it is sort of eerie to look at. But it doesn't stop there. Look at those cities. Those darn cities. Why do they look so real? What were the developers thinking when they made that skybox? What is the story behind it? Is the houses in the skybox a part of the Mushroom Kingdom? Does anyone live there? Fun fact, the skybox in Wet Dry World is actually based off Shnobbs City in Yemen, and that brown building above the city is actually Mosque of Muhammad Ali in Cairo, Egypt. The fact they use real-world locations for Wet Dry World skybox is really flippin' creepy. I feel like I should mention the paintings. Most of them lead to other worlds, when some are just regular images with no magic. This weird ripple effect when you jump into the portal paintings just feel off. Especially when you can not only just jump into paintings, but you can jump inside a bird cage, a black puddle that looks like melted metal Mario, walls, a flipping clock, and these weird looking swirls that look like a spiral galaxy or clouds surrounding the sun. Makes you think, how powerful was Bowser to make these portals that lead to other worlds? Why doesn't he use this magic power when he fights Mario? My theory is that it wasn't Bowser who made these paintings. It was... Oh no. It all makes sense now. I think Bowser Jr. made these paintings. Think about it. Both 64 and Sunshine courses entrances have two things in common. Both have that ripple effect once you jump into them.
One more thing that I would like to add. What was this supposed to be? The Starry Night painting made myself ask questions on what this was. For decoration? A scrapped world? If you notice, the only course that takes place at nighttime is Big Boo's Hunt. I would have loved to see more courses in Mario 64 that takes place at nighttime, but alas, probably happened in an alternate universe where Super Mario 64 2 exists, along with the Kingdom Hearts TV show and the Nicolas Cage Superman. The feeling of loneliness is the most disturbing thing about Super Mario 64. In conclusion, Super Mario 64 being Eerie game isn't a bad thing. If anything, it makes the game even more appealing. To this day, Mario 64 is still one of the most aesthetically pleasing games I have ever played in general. If any of you never played Super Mario 64, you really should give it a shot. Comment below if you agree or disagree with me, if the game being disturbing or not disturbing. Share your personal experiences. I feel like Mario 64 is Squid Game, but has liminal space. At the end of the day, in my opinion, Super Mario 64 is not just an Eerie Mario game, or Eerie N64 game, or Eerie Nintendo game. I feel like it is as high on the list of most disturbing games that are geared for kids audiences. Also, my all-time favorite Nintendo 64 game. Glad you made it this far into the video. Sorry about the late release. Many things have happened in my life that had me delay this video multiple times. Work, family situations, and my well-being as a whole. But I've been doing totes much better than usual lately. This video also has a few milestones. Hope you all enjoyed this video, which took me a whole year to create. Thanks for making it this far, and getting me this far as well. I greatly appreciate you, and I just appreciate everything of how this channel has survived. Shnobbs.